I spoke to a detective in Pearse Street on Saturday who was actively engaged with the social media companies throughout Thursday, who was actively engaged with TikTok, actively engaged with Meta, so Instagram and Facebook, who was actively engaged with Twitter or X. She said very clearly that social media companies, in particular TikTok and Meta, they were responding, they were engaging with Gardai, and they were taking down these vile posts as they came up. X were not. X were not. They didn't engage. They did not fulfil their own community standards. And that is why we are moving to a situation where these companies do not get to self-monitor. That's why Commission the Man has been established, to make sure that these companies are held responsible, because while some were responsible, others were not. So let me reassure you, Gardai were seized of this. They were engaging. They were engaging directly with the social media companies.
Go fuck yourself. But go fuck yourself. Is that clear? I hope it is.
What's up? Now those videos, I have to say, really tell a tale, don't they? And I have to be honest with you, I thought that second one was very funny. Obviously it's unrelated, but I thought it would be funny to link that in, so I hope you got a laugh out of that one. I said at the start of this year that 2023 was going to be a bad year for the left, and it has continued to be a bad year for the left. What we have in government, and what seems to be very obvious to an awful lot of people right now, is that we have just left-wing parties that are in government, no right-wing party that's in government, and what the media and the government and political parties themselves are afraid of is a surge and an interest in a right-wing party. Now, people will be out there and say, well, I don't identify as left-wing or right-wing, I feel this type of way. I can guarantee you that when a right-wing party does gain momentum, people are going to attribute themselves and say, I feel that way more than I do the other. And what we have had in this country is decades, or I should say, are decades of left-wing politicians, leftist parties, and it has come a cropper now. We have noticed, the world has noticed, the Irish government are now a laughing stock. What they have had happen to them is they have had a spotlight shone on them by the likes of Elon Musk and various commentators around the world. This is why you're seeing them starting to panic about the fact that Tucker Carlson has commented about them. This is why they're starting to panic about various other commentators like Salty Cracker, Russell Brand, and you've got Stephen Crowder talking about them. Because that brings attention to what they're doing. And what these people don't want is attention. They want to be left alone, being able to do what they're doing here to this country and keep going without any notice at all. That's finished now. It's over. They are now out in the light, and these people are panicked. They are panicked by the proposition of a right-wing government and right-wing party, because the right-wing government and party absolutely should be holding all of these people accountable, including the media too. So that's why these people are all afraid, and all they're going on about is far right this, far right that, because they want to attribute and attach a negative connotation about right-wing this, right-wing that. That's what they're looking to do, in my humble opinion. Now, when you look at this post here from Justice Minister Helen McEntee, this person is either completely inept at her job or she's telling lies. Which is it? Because I'm going to read you out a statement here from the CSO. Key findings for Q2 2023, recorded incidents of homicide offences increased by 31%, or 17 in the year to Q2. While those involving robbery, extortion and hijacking offences were up by 21%, or 410 to 2,328 incidents. Now that's from the 25th of September 2023. She posted this on November 1st, 2023. So either she's completely inept and she doesn't know about those statistics at all, which says it all, or she is telling lies. That's an interesting predicament that she's in right now then, isn't it? Today is an important day as we build stronger, safer communities. Absolutely unbelievable, isn't it? This woman, by the way, this is a Facebook post, boasts a followership of 20,000 people. But she's only gotten 54 interactions here on that post. That's interesting, that, isn't it? I always like to point out those numbers. So as you can see here from the image, she possibly has a filter, possibly has an awful lot of makeup on, maybe the lighting's good, because this is a very unattractive woman. And I always say to people, And we're going to link her in with the article from the Journal. Excuse me, sorry about that. The Journal. Going to link that in now in a moment. That I like to make a little bit of a link between unattractive women and leftism. They seem to be really interested in it. Is that because they're not attractive women and because that their opinion hasn't been noted beforehand, nor is it going to, unless they say something completely radical? Well, I would say that that would be the case, because you look at some of those podcasts that they have out there, and these people want to one-up each other every single time with the most ridiculous stories and with the most ridiculous content. So it seems like there might be a link there. So let's have a look. So this is her from November 1st, and as I said, not an attractive woman by any stretch of the imagination. And here she is from the last couple of days. She looks haggard. She looks older. She looks like she's aged in a very short time. I'm sure the stress, not only on her, but others that are in government there and the media that are running cover for this individual and others that are around there, are absolutely freaked out about what's going on. These people never imagined in their wildest dreams that things would catch up to them. Not at all, did they? These people thought they were going to have a free run of the place forevermore. This is a picture, by the way, only from, I think, probably a month or two ago. Remember the video that was posted out there by Gript, I think it was during the summer, where she was looking very smug and she had a scowl on her face. Again, allegedly, speculatively on that one, she'd probably say, oh no, we're smiling. You know how it is here, guys. But that picture tells a tale for me, and I think that's been picked up and people have started to notice that also. Very interesting times. Now, what we have here is X responding to the initial comments from Justice Minister Helen McEntee. X responds to Justice Minister's claim that it did not engage with Gardai during Dublin riot. Now, I said it at the time, and I think I even said it maybe on the night or maybe soon thereafter. And I said, it seems like they're pushing leftists and people that I've never interacted before with that are pushing all of this everybody's welcome here and open borders policy, which doesn't work at all. It seems like they're pushing them to the forefront, and anybody that's in my mutuals or people that I follow aren't being pushed whatsoever. It seemed to be pushed down. But still, what happened was people that are my mutuals and people that I follow were getting big amount of likes on the night and in subsequent days, and the left went into panic mode. Tweets were protected, they were muting posts, they were stopping replies to their posts about too. They were absolutely swarmed on the night because everyone likes to forget. I'm just going to bring this all the way back. This was ultimately about an attack on children in Parnell Street. Okay? This was ultimately about an attack on children in Dublin. That's exactly what happened here in this country. And the government and the media have since run with the people burnt out a few cars and a bus on the night. No, hang on here for a second. You're trying to move on past the problem that occurred that day. And when people said, enough is enough, we've had enough with this here, you've instead tried to say, oh, these people incited a riot. In any job, if this was a serious country, that you have led this to a situation that has currently gotten itself to with the likes of unvetted and unlimited immigration into this country, you should be removed from your position. Why has that not happened? The fact of the matter is that you're seeing time be wasted in the Dáil with people saying, I'm going to put this motion here and put that motion there. That should have been done, if not a year ago, at least about 6 months ago, when this all became very apparent. Why was that not done? Then you have the case of the media then going, okay, we're going to omit what Ryan Casey said. They wanted to hide that from you. They didn't want you to know that. So they have some gall in this government to turn around and say to people, oh, by the way, we're not happy with what X are doing. I wish Elon Musk told you where to go. I really do. The company said that remarks made by Helen McEntee in the Dáil last week were inaccurate, and that it has proactively taken action on more than 1,230 pieces of content under our rules relating to the riots. Now, I don't know what was said or anything like that, because X/Twitter seems to be more so of a square, a town square, if you will, that people are able to post on. And I've seen a big change in it, which is for the better, where people are able to say how they feel without any reprimand. And I think that that is super important, and I think that that's why free speech is important. And these people are trying to stifle it. Let's make no bones about that. And not even like anything radical, because they haven't provided anything tangible here to say, yeah, we took this post down and this is why it violated the rules and this is what it said. I don't know what's been said. So that could have been someone on the left-hand side that was posting all sorts of stuff. Now, since then, there have been people wishing assault upon Gavin Pepper and Philip Dwyer, for example. But those accounts seem to be still up and running. Those tweets seem to be shown no problem at all. I think that's very strange, isn't it? Because let's call a spade here. Speaking on the Dáil last week, McEntee said a female Garda detective, I keep saying it, what is the common denominator with an awful lot of the problems that we're seeing in the West? And then it follows it up. Had contacted, so the female Garda detective had contacted social media companies to remove vile posts on their platforms, and that all of them but X had engaged. Who is this guard? And why is she taking this upon herself to do that? Is this guard saying the same sort of stuff when it comes to June, when there's all sorts of rainbow stuff being pushed in people's faces? Are they doing it then? Are there other reasons why the Gardai are getting involved? Not too long ago we seen what happened with Bank of Ireland, where it seemed like they were giving out money. Now anybody that had any sort of intelligence knew that they were just going to catch you with a receipt. But we saw then that Gardai were sent to bank links. Why was that? Why did that happen? And why are Gardai crying about what's going on and being said online? These are the same Gardai, by the way, that have had a 98.7% vote of no confidence in Drew Harris. And yet you've got people doing things like this. Why? The female Garda detective was actively engaged with TikTok, actively engaged with Meta, so Instagram and Facebook was actively engaged with Twitter or X. Now I've said it beforehand, and an awful lot of people say it themselves as well too, that it seems like a number of accounts have been started this year, and particularly in September, October, November 2023, and some of them seem to be getting involved and trying to incite things, and I'm looking at it going, it's pretty obvious, I think, what's going on here. We've seen the playbook as to what happens in America, and it seems like that same playbook and same plays are being made here in Ireland. She said very clearly that social media companies, in particular TikTok and Meta, they were responding. TikTok, if you don't know, has members of the CCP, the Chinese Communist Party, on its board, so that's pretty clear to see what went on there. And Meta, we all know who's running that show. They were responding, they were engaging with Gardai, and they were taking down these vile posts as they came up. X were not, they didn't engage, they did not fulfill their own community standards, the minister said. Absolutely hilarious, because here is what X have responded with. This is inaccurate. We have proactively taken action on more than 1,230 pieces of content under our rules relating to the riots. We met with the Commission Naman on November 24th to discuss our response. The Gardai did not make any formal request to us until late Monday 27th. Got out in real time. This is why it's important to have transparency, and to be very clear now, we have just seen a company say that the Gardai and the minister seem to be telling lies, allegedly, speculatively. Now, I don't know about you, but certainly that's not good reading for the government. It's certainly not good reading for the Gardai either, because the Gardai, 2 Twitter accounts, by the way, I showed you last week, have liked a post from a known radical leftist with alleged links to Antifa. So they are 2 official Garda accounts that have liked a person's tweet that was cribbing about the fact that they weren't able to post stuff on what they claimed to be a well-known site, but most people just looked at it and laughed at it, and it's been a source of mockery from people that are normal individuals, again, allegedly, speculatively on that one. So what you have here is a complete and utter clown show in this country. We have a government that is radically out of control. We have a media that is radically out of control, and the light has been shone upon these people, and it has been shone upon them not in the way that they would hope. They would hope that they were going to get the adulation and the clap on the back, and that this narrative was going to go their way. But here is a stumbling block. You cannot hide behind RTE. You cannot hide behind Virgin Media. You can't hide behind any of these other articles from other companies with dubious funding. You can't hide behind them anymore, Because what you have now is a platform that is dedicating itself, it seems, at this moment in time, to putting out information and having people have an open debate. The days of you having one-way traffic are over. It's finished. And it has come to a point in time now where the social media genie is out of the bottle along with the internet, and the next thing that these people are going to try and do is they're going to try and clamp down on that. This is the next mode of attack, because when this doesn't work and they're talking about, you have Hazel Chew, who should be deported out of Ireland and back to China as soon as possible, calling for all sorts of measures. This is a person that no one's voting for. This is a person that doesn't hold public office. But I tell you who does. Her husband, Patrick Costello. So I think people should be making a concerted effort to making sure that they take his seat off him democratically in the next election. That's what I think needs to happen with all of these politicians. We need nationalists running in each and every county and constituency to take seats off these people. Because these people are now hoping that when the next election comes around, that you aren't going to run and that you aren't going to vote for anybody that's an alternative. There are people that are in this government that have gotten in there on the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th count. They are not wanted. They know it. They fear it. And they understand that should people get in and behind and row in behind a right-wing party, that these people are in serious trouble. Because I firmly believe that people want accountability and they want these people to be held accountable. So that's the current clown show that's going on here in Ireland. I have to say, it's absolutely remarkable that X have followed up with this statement. It just says it all, I think, to be quite honest with you. And we still have people that are in prison. The likes of Enoch Burke is sitting in prison. But yeah, there are still no details about the man who attacked kids in Dublin city centre. What's the story with that? Why is there a guy sitting in prison because he has a differing opinion? And anyone that wants to cry and say he's sitting in there because he broke a court order, you people weren't interested when the likes of the Geneva Convention and the Nuremberg Code were broken over the last couple of years. So don't come in here and talk any sort of nonsense towards me. Make sure you like, make sure you share, make sure you subscribe.